What's up, everybody? Captain Gino here, and I'm coming at you with a how-to on how to tie a preacher jig, a hair jig for bass, for largemouth bass. This is the way I found to be easiest for me, the most efficient way, and it's late at night. I need some hair jigs for the morning. They're going to be ready. It'll take me 10 minutes or so to tie one up. They'll be dry in 20, 30 minutes after that and ready to rock and roll. I know a lot of you purists out there are probably going to butcher me, but this is the way I found to be most efficient for me, uh, the easiest for me to do it, and the jigs hold up for a long time. They're super durable, so y'all stay tuned. We're going to show you how to get it done. All right, guys, so we're going to go ahead and lock our thread in here. I'm actually going to start on the base here, so that way I can place my feathers. Little tiny dab of super glue. Just a little bit there. I'm going to use 3 feathers on this jig. Lock that in. I'm just going to use a little bit of super glue here to lock these knots in. A little bit goes a long ways. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get my thread locked onto my jig. A little dab of super glue. Just a little bit. Now I'm going to cut my horsehair. And I want to cut at the base, getting the most hair out as possible. And I don't need a big bunch, you know, like an 1/8 inch or so. I try to cut it as flush and clean as possible, but I will clean it up and make sure it's flush here. I'm going to loosely tie this on. Make sure it's where I want it. And then I'll go ahead and lock it in. Okay. I'm going to work myself around here. Make sure my hair's clean. Spread it around evenly. And lock it in. A few wraps there. I'm going to continue to work my way around this jig. this last little piece, then I'm going to add some flash. I want my feathers to be 6 to 7 inches, and I want to get the longest parts of the hair I can find, the bucktail. That way it can really flare out and bulk up for me. Like I said, I loosely wrap initially, then I can tighten it down thereafter, once I feel like the hair is positioned the way I'd like. Okay, now that I have the base layer of hair, alright, so now I'm going to add my flash. And I just want a few strands on each side. 3-4 strands is all I need. I always want to start as even as possible. Okay, that's locked in. Go ahead and add the flash to the other side. And I'll trim this flash at the ends when I'm done. Make sure I got it where I want it. Lock it in. Alright, now I'm going to bulk this bad boy up a little bit. Couple light wraps, and I'm going to shift this around to get it where I want it. That was a terrible, terrible job. It is late at night. It's 11 o'clock. I gotta go fishing in the morning. But I needed a couple of these. I've already tied one. I figured I might as well make a video and show you the other one. Couple loose wraps. Add some meat to the sides here. one last little bit and we're done. Double check that I got what I want. Looking good. Go ahead and lock this bad boy in. Couple overhand knots, granny knots. I'm really not too worried about these knots here because I am going to use super glue to lock this thing in. Now, I do want to trim up my lash a little bit. That is essentially, guys, the final product there. Beautiful hair jig. She's about 6-7 inches long. Nice bulk to it. A little bit of flash. Half ounce jig head. Just an absolutely beautiful jig, in my opinion. For a preacher jig, that's how I like it. Now, this is where a lot of guys are going to cringe because I'm not going to use epoxy. I'm going to use super glue. I need this jig tomorrow. And bring that little hair up there. This will have it the easiest way for me to get it done. If you guys know of something different that works just as fast as super glue, let me know. But man, I tell you what, the super glue, when you put it on here, it locks this stuff in. It's not going anywhere. It doesn't take much. The threads soak it up pretty good. It is important that you hang it upside down so it doesn't bleed into your hair there. If you have any excess. But this jig will last forever like this. And that, folks, is how I tie my preacher jig or hair jig for bass fishing. Alright guys, that's a wrap. That is how I tie my hair jigs, my preacher jig for bass fishing. If you're into this type of content, if you're into how-tos, if you're into bass fishing, if you want to grow as an angler, if you're into watching people catch big fish, I'm your dude. Check me out. Please like and subscribe. Until next time, everybody, tight lines.